Welcome back to the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, everybody. Today we are going to take a look at some of the costly mistakes that I've made in terms of time here in wiring on my HO scale model railroad. I hope to show you through some of these things in hopes that I can prevent you guys from making some of the mistakes that I've made early on in the construction of my HO scale model railroad. I've got three things that I'd like to show you that I've made mistakes on here in the Black Hills and Eastern, and one other bonus one that may be of good use to you as you move forward in the wiring of your model railroad. Number one, soldering feeders too close to the switch points. The reason why I have this, this is a code 83 number, I think this is a number 8 switch here in my hands. And for whatever reason, as I was stepping through, putting switches in on the staging area here on the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad, I loved to put feeders right here on this end of the turnout, right next to the points of the switch. When I didn't have tortoise machines on my Sioux Junction HO scale railroad, it was fine. I could solder feeders wherever I want, but I developed a really bad habit, and I noticed this as soon as I got started installing tortoise machines on the Black Hills and Eastern Railroad here, that I had feeder wires coming out of the benchwork underneath these turnout points here, and I didn't have enough room to install a tortoise machine directly under the throw bar here. That was a problem, and I ended up having to move my feeder wires back. In some cases, there was one case where I was able to work around having the feeder wires come out here, but mostly I had to move them, and that was a costly mistake in terms of time. Item number 2, double check where your wires go to switches before you solder to panels. So you guys all saw me start to wire this Madison sub switch control panel, and what I had done is I had began to attach turnout control wires to a switch down here, and then moved up and up and up. And when I finally went to test, I wasn't getting the movement on the points that I desired. And come to find out that I had started with one switch too close down here to the end. So I ended up, the fix was relatively simple. I ended up moving one of these switches up here that wasn't wired yet, and then ended up moving the blank one down. And that was an easy fix, but it cost me a lot of time to troubleshoot that, and hopefully I can prevent you guys from making that same mistake here. Mistake number 3, not attaching feeder wires with the layout track power turned on. I'm using these 3M number 567 suitcase connectors, pardon the EMD reference there, because these accommodate a 12 gauge bus wire and up to two 18 gauge feeder wires. I made the mistake early on in construction of the layout here of wiring a whole bunch of feeders with the track power turned off, and then was going to run a test train over them and turn Digitrax on, and got a whole bunch of obscenities from my control station, and then had to go back and troubleshoot where my dead short was. Not a good feeling at all, and it was a complete waste of time, obviously. So I would never recommend you to solder feeder wires in with the track power turned on. That would be a grave mistake, but it's easy to, you've got basically no risk in attaching feeder wires with these suitcase connectors. Don't have any risk of any stray power. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to notice a dead short right away, and you're going to take that suitcase connector out and remedy the issue immediately. Item number 4 I thought I'd tell you about. This is kind of a bonus, and I've learned this through the old timers and things, and they say that you should always avoid, where possible, changing the color of the wire between the two endpoints of where you're getting to and where you're coming from. And this just is going to make troubleshooting a lot easier later on if you have a dead short during an operating session or whatever. You don't want that wire changing color 15 different times before it gets to where you're going. I realize that copper is expensive right now, and it certainly is, but it'll save you a lot of time and a headache later if you have to troubleshoot wire that remains the same color all the way from destination to the other endpoint. So this is where we're going to pull the pin on this particular episode. I hope you enjoyed the content here. Leave us a comment. What electrical mistakes have you made on your road? How costly have they been? What have you done to fix them? Subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.